What's going on, guys? Stony Rob here, back for another YouTube video. I hope you guys are having an amazing day, because mine is going amazing like every other day. Today we're going to talk about my opinion on the best movies to watch while high. So light up a blunt, a joint, take that bong hit, or even hit that wax pen, because let's get started. The first movie on the list would be Ferris Bueller's Day Off. This movie was made in 1986 and still holds its own in today's era. It's a movie about a high school student who fakes being sick to stay at home and spends the rest of the day with his best friends and girlfriend. Meanwhile, his dean is trying to spy on him and trying to get him caught, So he goes on to have a typical high school adventure, and this movie's so good while stoned because it reminds you of your high school days, skipping school, smoking weed, going to the mall, hanging out. Even though there's no cannabis reference, it's just an overall good high school vibe and chill enough to watch high as fuck. It's very old school, so maybe some of you younger generations might not relate, but to be honest, I highly recommend this while high as shit. Next up on the list is 2001's A Space Odyssey. This movie is just wow, a masterpiece. It's an old movie, and contrary to the title, it was made in 1968. Like, holy shit, that's old. The Discovery 1, which is the space shuttle, spaceship, is trying to find a monolithic monolith that appeared during the beginning of time. During the beginning of time, everyone comes from Africa. There's this, alien type humanoid shit that comes there and, influences whatever, part of our lives. So then there's Hal, who's an AI robot that tries to sabotage and take control of the ship. And I'll leave the rest of the plot for you to explore. Watching this movie, high as balls, is just trippy for the sheer fact of how well the movie was made during its time. It doesn't look like a 1968 movie. I'd give it another 10 years. It was ahead of its time. Also, the visuals are just A1 for a movie like this. Being stoned just amplifies the suspense of this movie, so I highly recommend this one. It's a great watch. Go ahead. Another comedy movie on this list is Superbad. If you don't already know what this movie is, your balls haven't dropped already. This movie, starring Jonah Hill and Michael Cera, is about two teenagers graduating high school and about to go to college. There's a party going on with all the popular kids, and so these two characters just go on a misadventure, causing havoc and creating a fuck ton of laughs. This movie is so enjoyable. I laughed throughout the whole movie. The side characters are all equally funny, adding to the comedic value of the movie. Without it being a stoner comedy, it just feels like one. This movie is one that you should really watch. If you haven't watched it, finish my video and go watch it right now, because you're missing out on a cult classic, to be honest. Next movie is actually a 2-for-1, so I'm giving you a 2-for-1 special right here, and that's Kill Bill 1 and 2. This movie is just insane. It's the story of a pregnant lady who also happens to be an assassin, who goes into a coma for 4 years after her ex-boss attacks her. So when she wakes up, she just goes full Rambo and seeks revenge on him and everyone that's around him. This blood-filled action movie is insane to watch high. With all the blood and action, there isn't one dull moment in the movie. Not entire movie, there isn't one fucking dull moment. It's gonna keep you captivated throughout, and I can guarantee it. All the stabbing, all the shooting, all the blood is like eye candy when you're high. I recommend smoking a sativa on this. It's really going to make the experience better, as if the movie isn't good enough, right? Just watch out if you're a little kid. First of all, you're not supposed to smoke if you're a fucking kid, but let's say you are. Just watch out when smoking this, because I don't think your parents are going to approve of this movie. It's just one of the most violent ones on this list. But let's get to the next one. Inception is up next on the list, and this movie is mind-blowing. Literally. I watched this movie 5 times over and barely understood the plot. I had to check Reddit, to try to understand what was going on. I had to check a few YouTube videos too. The whole movie is a mind fuck. Your brain being high as fuck and this movie combined just creates the ultimate mind fuck experience. I didn't understand jack shit the first time, and that's what the movie's fun. Like, that's what the movie's made to be. Like, it's fun to watch just because you don't understand jack shit, and it's weird to say. It's gonna leave you confused and feeling even more high after watching it. There's not much else to say about the movie. You just gotta watch it to try to understand, because I'm not gonna spend another like half an hour to an hour trying to explain it. Just like hit a bowl, watch this movie. Don't get too high because you're not gonna understand jack shit, like literally nothing at all. So just take it easy, watch this movie with a few friends, try to understand it. It's fun to watch when you're high. It wouldn't be the best movies to watch high video if I didn't include Pineapple Express. This stoner comedy is like the god of all stoner movies. It follows along the story of a drug dealer, well, a pot dealer, and a process server, that means a guy who like serves legal documents, who have to escape a corrupt cop and a mob boss after witnessing a murder. This movie is full of weed content and is just enjoyable to watch because you can relate to like 99% of what's going on. It's funny, it's goofy, and it's also pot fueled. So what better combo to watch high, am I right? There isn't much to explain about this movie. It's just Seth Rogen and fucking James Franco acting along high. And I bet they were high when they made this movie. I didn't check the details, but it's just amazing to watch. So I recommend this one. Next up, we have Avatar, and not M. Night Shyamalan's remake of Avatar The Last Airbender, because that shit was fucking garbage. More like James Cameron's award-winning Avatar. The movie is set on the planet Pandora, inhabited by Navies, I don't give a fuck about the name. The main character, Jack, has to decide where his loyalty lies with the people of Earth and the people of Pandora. So this movie is just amazing to watch because of the visuals. It's like a light show with characters and acting. It's just truly amazing. You seem to feel more of the emotions of the movie, especially when you're baked as fuck. It's a long movie, so I recommend keeping a few hits handies or a few blunts rolled, because you're gonna need them. Because I think it's like 2 hours and a half, 3 hours even. So it's a very long movie. I've watched this a few times. I haven't watched it in a few years, but I think I'm gonna watch it soon enough with a few people. So I really recommend this one. On that note, the next movie I'd recommend while high is Monty Python's The Holy Grail. I don't know how to explain the plot of this movie in my words, so I'll just read off the Google auto-generated description. A comedic send-up of the grim circumstances of the Middle Ages as told through the story of King Arthur and framed by a modern-day murder investigation. When the mythical king of the Britons leads his knights on the quest for the Holy Grail, they face a wild array of horrors, including a persistent black knight, a three-headed giant, a cater of shrubbery-challenged knights, the perilous castle Anthrax, a killer rabbit, a house of virgins, and a handful of rude Frenchmen. So yeah, this movie is just pretty fucked up. Not many people know about this movie, so it's a good cult classic to suggest and to throw in the mix for a good stoner movie night. So yeah, watch this movie baked as shit, because to be honest, it's pretty damn crappy if you don't watch it high as fuck. The next movie is also a movie that not many people know about. It's a feature-length parody about Star Wars, and if you haven't guessed what it is already, well, it's Spaceballs. There's not much to explain about the plot of the movie, because it's pretty much a parody with a high budget, so to speak. So it's just a parody of Star Wars. The movie is hilarious and makes you laugh like throughout the whole movie. So a great choice to watch while high. There isn't too much to go in depth in this, because to be honest, it's like a shitty good movie, if I had to put it in those words. We're gonna end this movie list with a more serious and deep movie, and that's Interstellar. Matthew McConaughey plays the role of a NASA pilot named Cooper who has to go to space to find a planet that either is close enough to send humans off there or send quote-unquote like embryos to repopulate the planet. So to sum it up, it's pretty much a movie about a man trying to send nut up in space, like sperm up in space. But on the more serious note though, jokes aside, it's a super lengthy movie that keeps you captivated while watching it, especially when high. Watching it makes you feel as if you learned something after it. It's trippy as hell, and when you're stoned to the bone, this movie just messes with your emotions and common sense. So for me, that's a top tier recommendation. It's fairly long, but still, give it a shot. It's very good. Well, that pretty much settles it. This was my list of the best movies to watch while stoned. These movies weren't placed in order because, to be honest, I'm not a movie critic, so I won't go as deep as saying there's one that's better than the other. You be the judge of that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, drop a like and hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next video. This is Stony Rob, and you know what? I'm out.